Shedeur is going to be regarded as the #2 quarterback in this draft.
Almost certain that they're going to set up any and every quarterback. I want to make it 100% clear that Shedeur Sanders versus Dillon Gabriel shouldn't have really happened like this. There didn't ever need to be a contingent, versus or for or all these things. But now we've gotten to a place where someone who is rated as a 4th and 5th round pick has to be scrutinized against somebody who is a projected 1st round pick, right? This is not, me being a Shedeur fan. This is me looking at the stats, and we're going to look at those stats today. Today, we're going to look at what this competition of quarterbacks has done to the Browns media, how people have decided to omit certain things from history, omit certain statistics that we know are in the real world, and kind of have shifted reality to wherever they want it to be. So first things first, I want to start with, because I'm a positive guy, I want to start with this right here. This is something that in the next few weeks, whether Dillon is starting, whether Shedeur is starting, whether Dillon is having a bad game or a good game, this video is going to get buried, and I want to make sure y'all see it before, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's about to get real nasty. It's about to get real nasty. So just know, right? Just know where we are and where we stand here. So, just for the record, these are two gentlemen that do support each other, always support each other, smile for each other, and have always been there for each other. But that does not mean that there hasn't been a lot of questions about who the real QB1 in Berea should be.
Gerard, how long is the leash coming out of the bye, in your opinion, on Dillon Gabriel?
I can see a situation where it could be a half. It could be the entirety of the game he gets to play. And the following week, you can see Shedeur Sanders out big there. Ready. So, again, big ready. Because, again, at some point, the pressure is going to be that, hey, are people going to go to the games if he's quarterbacking? No. But if Dillon. But if Shedeur is out there, they will come in droves.
Hey man, they know who brings the people in. They know who brings the numbers in. And I want y'all to realize, because the purpose of this video from the media standpoint is I want y'all to see the level they've in. Go back to the history, either my videos or just go to their YouTube or Twitters and YouTubes and look how they were talking about Shedeur back then. Look how they were talking about when Dillon Gabriel got named starter, and look how it is now. Now they are on their knees for something, a savior, anybody, please, anything, right? And to me, I'm just like, man, y'all should have stayed on that side, big guy. Y'all should have stayed over there, because I don't want to hear this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to believe none of that what you talking about. I don't want Shedeur to save y'all now. Now y'all just want clicks and views. When I've been showing y'all the statistics, now I've been showing y'all to the level at which he's been excelling, right? But none of that mattered. It didn't matter until Dillon Gabriel went out there and threw a few meatball subs, right? Until he threw himself into a safety, right? Now all of a sudden we need 12, and now all of a sudden Mary Kay is speaking on the leash of Dillon Gabriel. Let's hear it.
But how long do you think that Dillon Gabriel still has before they would consider going to Shedeur Sanders?
Well, I know that they want to give him a good long time to see what he can do, to come up that learning curve. And it's a twofold process here. It's not just what Dillon can or can't do, but it's how ready is Shedeur. And if Shedeur were ready in 2 or 3 weeks, then I think they would throw him in there. But I think they have to know
2 or
that
3
he's going to go out there and be able to
weeks
function, and not just function, but function in this particular offense. An offense that is struggling in so many different ways right now, and you don't want to shatter a rookie quarterback's confidence. So he's got to be able to go out there and protect himself. He can't retreat like he did in college. And this is a point I made in the column that I wrote the other day, and that is, when you've got a quarterback like Drake May, he can absorb 6 sacks in that game and make enough explosive plays, and they can make enough explosive runs to overcome those negative plays. The Browns aren't getting those explosives right now, so you can't put someone out there that is potentially going to get negative plays or a fair amount of negative plays without knowing that you've got something coming on the other end. So that's part of it. They have to know that he is ready to go out there and that everybody else is ready to support him in the way that he's going to.
Okay, so, Mary Kay was tweeting out how accurate Shedeur was and all this other stuff just a week ago. You know what I mean? And now, you know, the tone's changed. You're not as enthused. Since like that drop, your tone changed. You're not as enthused. That's one thing Drake said in that Rick battle. What kind of crazy. So, you know, and again, I'm big on, hey, I don't want Shedeur out there with this offense, specifically this offensive coordinator, or not offensive coordinator, play caller in Kevin Stefanski. His offenses look terrible. It's looked terrible for years, since the Browns left Chicago. They never went to Chicago, but since the Browns have been the Browns under Kevin Stefanski, the offense has been abysmal, right? So I don't want his, you know, to Mary Kay's point, whether it's confidence, whether it's, you know, anything else in between, being hindered by an offense that can't protect somebody that, if y'all remember, and I'm not gonna let y'all forget it, that was his guy. This is Kevin Stefanski's hand-picked guy, right? So it goes deeper than just, oh, you know, this is a rookie quarterback who's not playing up to standard. No, this is somebody who was handpicked, who was given the most reps, who was already running the same system in college last year, who has played more games in college, holds the record for most touchdowns at the FBS level. And again, both of these young gentlemen are legendary players. Dillon, Gabriel, and Shedeur. I'm not playing games when I say that. Both are legendary players, right? But if we're comparing what the expectation should be, right? If we're comparing, Dillon Gabriel just need to go out there, dink and dunk. Just be the perfect dink and dunk. Hey, we would be sitting here calling him dink and dunk queen or dink and dunk king. But it wouldn't matter if they're winning games. It wouldn't matter if he wasn't throwing interceptions. It wouldn't matter if the offense is actually moving. All right, it might be boring. It might be whatever. It might be dink and dunk. But it don't matter. Y'all called Jalen Hurts everything but a quarterback last year, but he won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm fine. I would be a Dillon Gabriel stan if he came out there and was dinking and dunking and killing him up. If he was out there throwing for 100 yards, rushing for another 50, you know what I mean? And just some real 1768 football. But right now, it's like he's not ready for the moment. It's like he wasn't even equipped. It looks like they set up Dillon Gabriel for failure, and I'm almost certain that they're going to set up any and every quarterback for failure. But you know how that get down. You know how that go, right? So, enough yapping. I do want to do this, though. I do want to do this because there was a little bit of a switch up. Before we get into the stats, our guy, Tony Graci, who else but TG with DG, you feel me? Y'all know how they stick together. So I'm going to watch this. We're going to listen to this real quick, and then we're going to watch these throwback videos.
Yesterday was just Gabriel. I don't know what happened to him. If this game came directly after the Pittsburgh game, I would have said I think he got affected by that pounding he took in Pittsburgh, but he didn't look that way against Miami. He is just not getting the throws downfield, and he's not getting the looks. Isaiah Bond was open on that kind of scrambled play where Gabriel got tied up. He got out of the rush, and he just didn't see him quick enough and threw it out of bounds. The intentional grounding, come on, there's no excuse for that in the end zone. So
Tony Graci with some real takes, but let's hear what he said, in the draft days.
First of all, if the Browns took Travis Hunter at 2, how far up would they have to go from 33 to catch a falling Shedeur?
Yeah.
I think they have to go a little too far.
Okay.
I don't believe he falls into the 20s.
Okay.
Okay. I think, first of all, if the Browns...
Wow. Tony Graci saying he does not believe Shedeur falls in 20. And, all right, we can do this. I've made this video 1,000 times, but y'all got to stop acting like Shedeur was... of course he dropped to the 5th round. No, everybody thought he was the biggest Shedeur hater in Cleveland thought Shedeur was a first-round pick. So
draft stock is falling and falling fast.
I am not buying that.
Okay.
I think that Shedeur is going to be regarded as the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And
Okay.
it's not going to get anything worse than that. And I think there are, 4 teams in the top 7 that are looking for quarterback.
Did talk.
He's the second best quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
According to most.
Did your opinion on that change after the combine? Because we did talk about that a little bit last week.
I don't think it changed, but I think the gap closed between 2 and 3.
Okay.
Rather than 1 and 2.
Okay.
So he's still firmly number 2 in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of most teams.
Did talk.
So, again, y'all already knew what it was. This actually, I'm happy this started off first because it helps us lead into what we're about to get into next. So there's a lot of talk about, again, why should Shedeur start? Why this? Why do, and it's one thing to think that Shedeur starts. It's another thing to have at least a reason of why people are passionate about it. And I don't like when people pretend like Shedeur didn't do anything that not only the aunties like, dog, the NFL scouts. So this is what PFF had to say coming into the draft. This is NFL scouts, Tony Graci. This is not I'm making up some narrative. Oh, Dillon Sanders gave me a phone call and said, hey, go talk positive about Shedeur. Go pretend like he actually did good. No, this is what the people who were watching the film, this is what they had to say. So let's get into it. So now, first things first, we're starting with Dillon Gabriel. So PFF overall grade 9th, right? He's the 9th quarterback for the PFF in this draft cycle. Big time throw percentage, 38th out of 56. Something is remaining consistent there. Turnover worthy play, though, which is something weird. He was actually a very efficient player. That's something that both of these players were known to be efficient. They can get to the intermediate throws, XYZ. That's what they were supposed to be good at, right? So turnover worthy play, 4th, great. Adjusted completion percentage, 2nd. Again, supposed to be a very accurate guy. Pressure to sack percentage, 14th. PFF clean pocket grade, 9th. PFF under pressure grade, 12th, right? Now you're gonna see these because there's some advanced stats, but big time throw rate, 14th. PFF overall grade, third, right? As opposed to 9th. Turnover worthy play, 1.3%, boy. 1.3%. just so y'all know, 1.3%. Adjusted completion percentage, 3rd, so right underneath Dillon Gabriel. Pressure to sack, 20.1, so 19th. What do they do? Pressure to sack. So Dillon Gabriel in college handled pressure better. PFF clean pocket grade, 3rd. PFF clean pocket grade, 9th. Under pressure grade, 8th. And just underneath under pressure grade at 12th. So let's check a peek at the background and some of the strengths. So Dillon Gabriel is a 24-year-old, 5'11", 201-pound quarterback out of Oregon. His college career began at UCF, where he started 12 games as a freshman and was the team's full-time starter for the next 2 years before a season-ending injury cost him his junior campaign. Gabriel then transferred to Oklahoma, where he was the starter for 2 years. He wrapped up his career at Oregon, helping lead the Ducks to a college football playoff appearance. And remember that he's going to finish with the number 1 FBS touchdown record, as well as having, I think, the most starts in FBS history. So I do want to point this out, I'm going to praise Shedeur for being number 1 in completion percentage. I think we also need to respect Dillon Gabriel because this is a historic career. You took the Oregon Ducks to the college football playoff. You did high-level things at multiple schools. Now, if I'm a Texas fan, so I would like to erase them Oklahoma years out because I think you beat us in some Red Rivers when you were starting. But I don't want to, again, it's not in my memory. I don't know. But regardless, at its core, and this is another reason why I hate that there's this versus thing, because at its core, these are 2 phenomenal young players who have played football, but they just don't add up. So strengths, he's an experienced distributor. Gabriel's first college snaps came in 2019, and he has since logged more than 2,300 dropbacks. That simply means he has seen it all, which is evident in his excellent ball distribution. He's great in RPO and quick passing decisions, showing off quick decision making. That experience is also clear on the mental side. The supercomputer. I don't know. Maybe that Cleveland water messed him up. He does a great job of understanding defenses and reading defenders' leverage to get the ball out on time. Elusiveness in the pocket. And again, I don't know where the elusiveness went, but it's not there anymore. Gabriel can be very tough to bring down the backfield. He is slippery in the pocket and he intends to make defenders miss, leading to a top 15 pressure to sack rate this past season. Not only can he be effective at avoiding these negative plays, but he's also a strong passer when scrambling. Gabriel earned a 62.4 PFF passing grade when forced to move out of the pocket in 2024, ranking 2nd in the draft class. He can also quickly turn a potential negative play into positive downfield shot, a successful formula for someone of his size. Now, the weaknesses. Speaking of size, Gabriel's measurables, height, weight, wingspan, hand size, etc. are all in the 35th percentile, or lore amongst quarterbacks. That's quite a barrier developing into a successful NFL signal caller. He'll be a significant disadvantage, and some teams may even be scared off from drafting him. The good news for Gabriel is that players like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young have proven that there is a path to success in the NFL despite being under 6 feet tall. Turns down open field passing options. Now, this is something that has just remained the same, man. Gabriel's average downfield pass in 2024 traveled 7 yards. Right now, I believe he has a 6.1 average at the target. That's the 7th lowest mark in the FBS. That's the nature of Oregon's offense, though. Will Stein offense that was supposed to translate really well to the Cleveland Browns offense. There you go. In the offense prior, Bo Nix, when he was there, had an average of 6.8. So, it is a product of the Will Stein offense. The difference between Nix and Gabriel is that Nix took advantage of downfield options. Gabriel's big time throw rate was 3.2%, while Nix's was 4%. It's not the largest gap, but it's significant where there were plenty of times Gabriel could have taken deep shots, and Gabriel was successful when he was throwing down the field too. He simply turned down far too many opportunities, either because he hit his check down too early, check down Charlie, or didn't see them. That's PFF saying it. On passing attempts of 20 yards or more, Gabriel earned an elite 94.7 PFF passing grade in 2024, the 5th best figure in college football. Wow. So he can, if he would to throw the ball down the field, apparently he grades pretty well, but he just doesn't do it. He doesn't look for them. He doesn't see them, right? That's not me making it up. That's what PFF has to say. And let's go here. I think y'all know this one. Shedeur Sanders, the most wins since 2016. I mean, who cares that he turned around 2 historic programs? Y'all don't care about that. Strength, accuracy. Mary Kay know about it. Mary Kay know about that. Sanders' biggest strength is his accuracy. From ball placement to catchability, he is among the best. PFF charts the ball placements on every throw made by college quarterbacks, and Sanders finished 2024 with the 3rd highest accuracy rate and 5th lowest rate of uncatchable throws in FBS. He shows a great understanding of defenders' leverage and knows how to place balls in tight coverage. Sanders also displays fantastic touch on deep throws. His 94.8 passing grade on deep attempts, 20 plus, ranks 4th in this year's draft class. Avoiding turnovers, Sanders handled the most dropbacks under pressure in FBS, nearly 20 more than the 2nd most. I'm going to repeat that because people say he takes sacks, he takes all these other things. Sanders handled the most dropbacks under pressure in FBS, nearly 20 times more than the 2nd most. So just make sure you put that out there, right? He was under constant pressure at Colorado, yet still avoided turnovers. His 1.3% turnover-worthy play percentage ranks the best amongst draft-eligible quarterbacks, and that figure rises to only 2.5% on plays with pressure, placing 8th in the class. Sanders does such a good job of not turning a bad play into a disaster. When quarterbacks are constantly under duress, they often panic. Not Sanders. High level play when in structure. When Sanders plays on time within structure, he flashes high level processing. It led to the 3rd highest clean pocket PFF passing grade amongst draft eligible quarterbacks. Colorado's offense doesn't rely on a ton of RPOs and screens, instead asking Shedeur to process a lot pre and post snap. Although the Buffalo's offensive line often couldn't hold up enough to allow him to get through his progressions. When he did have time, he was excellent. Even when he didn't have time, he showed an ability to stand and deliver in a crowded pocket. Sanders' 86.9 PFF passing grade when under pressure with a time to throw under 2.5 seconds ranks 3rd in college football this past season. This shows he can trust what he's seeing from defenses and deliver despite a muddy pocket weakness. Velocity, and remember, that's what I said, but I think he's improved it since getting into the league. While Sanders is a very accurate deep ball passer, his arm strength isn't elite. He lacks velocity, clearly visible on downfield passes that require extra juice to beat closing windows. It causes some throws to be tighter than desired. It could lead to problems in the NFL. When quarterbacks lack that certain zip on the ball, it forces them to be a lot cleaner with their timing. Sanders was able to do that in college, but it remains to be seen if he can work that same magic in the pros. And bailing from clean pockets. Okay, we can be fair here. The biggest area of concern in Sanders' game is his pocket presence. There is a lot of caveats, though, because of his offensive line at Colorado. Sanders was the most pressured quarterback in the nation. And while a lot of that was on his offensive line, he had his fair share of responsibilities in inviting pressure. He had the most quarterback faulted pressures and sacks in 2024. Okay, that's something you got to point out. He was forced to play under constant concern for pressure, even when it wasn't there. It led to him bailing from clean pockets early, taking sacks, and not letting plays fully develop. There are far too many plays of him looking to get out of the pocket immediately, expecting pressure instead of staying in and reading out the play. So, hey, we can be fair on both of those instances, but I don't want anybody to continue to ask me, why do people think he's a first-round grade? Ask the NFL people, ask the PFF people, ask every other NFL scout that had him rated that way. But hey, like this video if you like it, dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashion. Continue to be great, phenomenal, and everything else in between, man. We'll see you next time. Peace.